Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, am I audible? Can anyone respond? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, so this week we will cover some problems on week 9 and week 10 content. So, as you know, that you have the second OPP exam on the next week. So, syllabus is still week 10. And also, this time the OPP 2 section 1 will be based on the syllabus of OPP 1 actually. Okay. So I hope you got information about the section 1 score will also be considered for OPP 1 score. Okay. So also practice well on the first part till week 7. Okay. And section 2 mostly will be based on that week 7 to week 10 content, and problems will be easy in section 1. Okay, so do practice on the conditional statement again. So as we give the question based on the conditional statement, simple array. So same type of questions, easy questions will also be asked in the OPP2 exam in the section 1 at least. So practice on in this part also. Just understand all the things: conditional statements, loop, how we run the loop from a specific range, how we traverse the array, how we can perform some operation on the array. So that is the requirement. Do practice. Okay, so you have the another chance to qualify the OPP exam criteria if you have not done. Okay, so some UI changes also done in the portal. So let me show you that first. So you can see in the programming assignments. Now you can see the status of your marks in the programming assignment itself this time. So let me open any problem, programming problem. So this is B10. Practice PPA like okay. So we always suggested that use new UI by default. Maybe sometimes this is open, this old UI open. This one, okay. So we always suggest that always open the new UI. Try new UI this option if it is not directly open. So use this UI. This is much better to the old UI. And this time, so what change is done? Some improvements are also done regarding the test case or all these things, so that what is the difference between input and output like this. But some one additional tab is mentioned this time. So this is the second tab, question statement. By default, right now this is open. Okay. So when you are opening any problem, so this page is opening actually. This is overview. So what is the status of your score, public test case, private test case? Okay, and this is are mentioned. What are the deadline? To read the question statement, just click on the second tab. This is the question statement page. Okay, and third one is the test case. So that was also available on the previous UI, but this overview is added now. Okay, so read the question statement, write your solution. After when you will click on the test run button, your public test case will run. To for the marks, you have to click on the submit button, then private test case run, and private test case have only the marks. So after clicking on this test run button and submit button, you can see this overview. Okay, so overview, and at the time of you can see your score. Okay, or for that question, and this public test case status will also be shown. How many public test cases are passed, how many private test cases are passed. So and that based on the private test case you will score in this tab. So at the same time, we got some query from the OPP1. So many of the students actually just cleared the public test case and they are asking that why they didn't get the marks actually. So from the third week, we are mentioning that marks are only associated with the private test case. So if public test case are passed, then marks will not be awarded. Only the private test case pass, then only marks will be awarded. So just see this status after solving the problem. So what status your, what score you have, what public private test case, status you have. Okay, so this will clarify to you. So this is the UI change in the programming interface in your exam also. Okay, so as I mentioned that practice previous syllabus also. Okay, to practice means just not learning actually. Okay, writing practice. This time performance was not good for this OPP one, so just do better this time. Okay, so let's move to the that coding session. So as you know that we use this online GDV. So we have total six problem today, and three problems from week 9 and three problems for week 10. File and this 2D array based. Okay, so just open your that online GDV. We have already shared the link. Otherwise, calendar also contain that link. So just open this page, and meanwhile, I publish this. These are not published yet. Hmm. Okay, so now you can see the problem like this. We will refresh the page. These problems will be come in your assignment. So week 10. Oh, week 10 is coming at the top. Maybe some sorting is there. Okay, so week 10 problems are coming at the top, but week 9 is coming at the bottom. This is like a string sorting actually. So okay, so let's start with the week 9 problem one. So we are not giving like any code as a prefix suffix, but in exam you will get some maybe prefix or suffix type of things. Maybe you have to write some part of the code. So just understand that what is this prefix suffix is already given and what you need to write. Just read the complete problem statement carefully, and then you can do. Okay, so first problem. Now these problems are based on the two-dimensional matrix. So as week 9, we have covered 2D array and some dynamic memory things. Okay, so generally dynamic memory allocation, that problem can be solved differently also. So OPP exam will not gives that type of problems, but 2D array this is important. Okay, you should know how to actually traverse the 2D array, how to perform some operation on the 2D array, and how to read the element of for the 2D array. You know all know about the 2D array means, so two-dimensional row and column type of structure we are using to store the data. Okay, like matrix. Okay, so this is the first problem. Find max element in 2D matrix. Okay, so this is easy problem, and this type of problem may be asked for 1D array. So you know that how we find out the maximum element in the 1D array. So now here is 2D array. Okay, so that means you need to traverse all the element. First, your target is just read the element and store the element in 2D array, and then you will solve this, uh, just finding out the maximum. Okay, let's start. So first this problem. So we will write a complete code for this. That means sample input is what is representing sample input. This first two value three is representing number of rows and number of columns. Okay, and then after that each row is representing rows element. Each row is element. So three element in each row. So that we need to store. So let's write If you have any doubt in any time, so you can just open your mic and you can ask. So has include, okay. Just always try to write complete code. Okay, so do not if you have already some code, just do not copy paste things. Otherwise, you can't do practice. So because of that, we suggested that this course can be just complete by typing the code. So has included this and main function, and we will write a main function body, return statement 0. That's it. Okay, now we will do the process. So the first thing is, because this is two-dimensional matrix, so we have to declare one array, 2D array for this. Okay, so let's because all elements are integer, so we will make the type of integer, and we can give any name for this. So like AR and size, we will assign the maximum size here. So okay, because size we will read here, so we can assign, because it is mentioned in the question statement that max size is not exceed 10. Just assign that size, maximum size 10, but we will keep maintain this how many rows and columns are there in our other variables. So this is an array declaration. Same, we required a rows, how many rows we have, how many columns we have, and we also required these I, j variables, so that we will declare later. And what we are looking for, max. Okay, so we are looking for maximum element, so that variable we have declared. So now the first is read the element, read the input. Okay, so how we can read the input, because first two value we can directly read. Okay, so that scanf, and we have this percentage d, and both value we will store into our rows and column field. So rows and comma and calls. Okay, so that means first line contain these two information. So that 3 will be stored into 3 row, 3 columns. Columns equal to 3, rows equal to 3. Now the next thing is, because we don't know how many rows are there, so the rows we are just getting from the input. So that time of we have to run a loop. So that means how many times, how many lines are there to read. In each line, how many that element contains. So that is based on number of rows and columns. So we have to use nested loop here. Okay. So first loop for will define a rows. Okay, and second loop will read a columns elements. So that means first loop we are taking for the rows reading. So that is int I equal to 0, and I is less than, okay, so because we are starting from 0, so we can complete less than rows. So I think variable s. Okay, so this is loop and I plus plus. So this will handle the line number. Okay, inside this, sorry, inside this second loop we will use for column, int j equal to 0, and j is less than false, and j plus. Okay, now this loop will read the line actually. Okay, or element in the line. So that means scanf we use here, scanf and percentile d, and three element. So okay, how many elements? Okay, so that will actually read all the elements, because we are running a j loop. So how many elements we have in the each line? So that scanf percentile d will read, and that will be stored inside arr ith row and jth column. Okay, so this is. So now this part we have done for reading the input. Okay, and okay, this is matrix. So that we have to take this and also. Now the process is we will just run the same loop. Okay, because we need to read each element from the matrix, or then we can print it, finding out the maximum element. Okay, so that is our next task. So same task you can done at a read time also, but we can try separately. Okay, so how we can process the element. Let's assign that max equal to first element of the array. So that we are assuming that first element is the max element. So that is at index 0, 0. Okay, 0th row, 0th column. Now we will run the same loop. So for int I equal to 0, I is less than call, sorry, rows I plus plus. Okay, and next loop for int j equal to 0, j is less than calls, and j plus plus. So now this is our done. So we are reading all the rows, and in each row, so this that means ith row we will traverse all columns value. Okay, so j all columns. Then we increment second row, then all elements we will compare. So this time we are comparing actually. So here 0, 0 we have already done, but we can start comparison again. So what condition we will take? If
If condition
huh. So if that means the array element, if array element I and
is
j,
greater than the max element.
yes, correct. So if this current element, so this ij are representing the current element of the array, is greater than the last max element which we have defined. Okay. So if we are finding maximum element, then we will update our max element to this current element. So this arr I and j. Okay. So this process is very similar to the finding the maximum among all the element in the single one dimensional array also, but only the change is here we are traversing each element row and column wise. Okay, by the nested loop. Otherwise condition is same. So finally all element will compare, and we will get a maximum element in this max variable, and this we need to print outside of this loop. So after completion of this process we will just print our this max element. So that is %ld and our max element. Okay, so this
Sir, I
is
think the slash n
where
in
here.
percentage d. Yes.
This is not always required because this is one single digit output, so that will also work. Okay, if
Okay, sir.
our next line is not configured. So all thing is done. Any okay? Let's compile this. If we have missed something, so check. Oh, we are getting error. So you can see where we are doing mistake. That extra column. Okay. So always just see where which line error is coming. Just look the code around that and see everything is looking correctly or not. So sometimes this error message is not very clear, but if you don't know how to understand the errors, just see that which line actually error is there. So just see around all that line, and also the previous line or next line maybe sometime. So now you can see our code is running without any syntax error. So let's first save this. Last time I forgot to save and lost the code. So test button. Okay, so this is working fine. You can see this only two public test case we have configured. So this is our input, and we are getting this is our output. Okay, and this is the configured output. So both are same. This is input. This is our output. This is expected output. So both are matched. So that means our code is working fine as per requirement. So this is the code. I hope this is clear to everyone. If you have any query, you can ask. Next two problems will also be based on the similar concepts. That means this reading part and traversing part will remain same, but some tasks will be different. So you can try by your own again that with me. Any query in this? Shall we move to the next? No
No, sir, no doubt.
response. Okay. So let's move to the next problem. Two. So this is transpose a 2D matrix. So that means our matrix is given like this, row and column. So that we need to transpose this. So our rows will become a column and column will become a rows. And this is, we are only just printing. Okay, so we are not creating a new matrix for this. So that means what in matrix we have, just print a transpose matrix for this. So this is our task. The same type of reading is there. So that means reading part will be same. Only the printing part will become different here. So what small change is required? And if any of you want to explain or show line by line code, not after the writing, just you can see me just writing the code.
Hello,
Let
sir.
me check. Who raised the hand? Sorry, can you raise the hand? Okay, sorry. So do you want?
Yes, sir. Can I?
Yep, sure. So you can share your screen and just write your code and show line by line, explain each line.
Sorry, sir. I can't show. I can explain. You write the code in window.
You can't share your screen?
No, sir. It's having some network issue problem because my network is.
Okay, that will not work actually. Others will not be actually able to see.
Hello, sir.
Ravikant, yeah.
Can I do, sir?
Yes, sir, you can do. You can share your screen.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. Okay. Also explain when you are writing, na? So also explain what you are doing. Okay, so Ravikant, your mic is off if you are speaking or something.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Now take the inputs from the users using a scanner. Percent ID, percent ID, and percent rows, and percent columns. We have to also assign two variables, two matrices. That matrix. Actually, I have defined two arrays, static matrix as well as transpose, uh, which have only tail elements should be in rows as well as columns, and it should not exceed from the 10.
Mhm. So Ravikant, actually here our task is to just print the array. So you can directly print if you want. Otherwise, after storing the result into a transpose, then you have to print the same matrix again.
Uh, no, the firstly we have to take the inputs, all the elements of the matrices from the
Ha ha.
integer.
Okay.
Uh, yes, using for loop.
Okay, I'll just do your way. Okay, no problem.
And rows. And it is equal to 0. And initial scan. Now we have to compute the matrices in transpose of a matrices. So we have to use the again for loop in equal to 0 and I less than again rows. Plus. Finally, print the transpose of the matrices. Yes. Yes, sir, done. Okay, there is error. Declare.
I think you use the J plus plus instead of I plus plus. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Miss the curly brackets. Yes.
One more curly bracket has
It,
been introduced.
it's an extra. Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, something and should be and I and also J.
Yes. I think the swap rows and the column indices is in error. Okay.
Okay, four, three, four, five, six.
In the input, give a space, otherwise it will treat it as one.
Yes, sir.
Uh, First stop. Click on the
I
stop
think
button.
first save the program.
And stop also. Click on the stop button at the top. Now test. Now this is fine.
Okay, now having two, nine, two, three, four, five, five, and six. One, four, two,
See the output
five.
part. Your each element is printing in the new line actually. Just make sure that row should be print, then line should be break.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think so. This is problem.
In line number 23,
Yes.
yeah,
Eliminate the slash n and put in the 24th line. Yes. 25th. Yes.
give one space also. I think space is also better.
Backend slash and plus two, three, one, two, three, four, five, and six. Yeah,
1425.
one more
Now
spaces.
just not here.
or here, I think.
After that. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. 145 now. Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Correct. Okay. Yeah, this is the correct code. So if anyone have any doubt in this, you can ask. So he actually read the input and then he stored the transpose of the another matrix. Okay, and then he print that matrix. So that three steps they have done. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Ravi.
Okay, sir. Can I stop sharing our screen?
Yes. Yes. You can stop. Okay. So let's move to the third question. Okay. Okay, so this is again 2D matrix, but this time the task is different. Sum of border elements in 2D matrix. So that means the same input type we have, but we need to sum only the border element of this matrix. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 8, 7, 4. This is the sum of that. So any other who want to solve this? Anyone? No one? Okay. So let's solve this. So we will do the same process, but only the logic. How we will just add all the border element. That part is the different one. Okay. Finally, we need to return the final sum. So same thing. We will start the same code again. So that is the requirement. Okay. So let one matrix. Okay. And size is given already. Oh, it is mentioned that if you mention that rows is greater than 2, column is greater than 2. Okay, so we are assuming this. But I think that 10 is also a limitation for this that is not mentioned. So let's we assign this 10, okay, 10 and rows, calls, okay, and sum equal to 0. So some we have assigned this time equal to 0 because we will add the value in this. If you not assign the 0 and if you will add into this, so that will give you a garbage type of value. Okay, so by default maybe some garbage value is already assigned. So if you are adding something into the declared variable, always assign with the initial value with 0. So reading part. So for first thing is row and column. Okay, so scanf t delete comma delete calls. Okay, so these are the rows and columns. And now run a loop. I is less than equal to rows. I plus plus. Okay, so for next loop j is less than calls j plus plus. Okay, and inside this we will read the data. So scanf percentile No, not percentile, only one element at a time. And that data will be stored in array ij. Okay, so this read part is done. And now the thing is, so we want to sum only the border element. So what is the identification of border element? So if you see this, if you let me just do the notepad. A second. Okay, so let's suppose we have the element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is 3 by 3 matrix. So indexing, when we are storing into a two-dimensional matrix, so what is the indexing for the row? Okay, so this is row, and so indexing will be 0, 1, 2. Okay, and this side columns 0, 1, 2. So identification of the border element is either it is a row value. So suppose we are taking I value for row and j value for columns. So either I is equal to 0, okay, or j equal to 0. So I equal to 0 means this row is traversing. Okay, so this is the border row. If j equal to 0, so that means we are reading this column. Okay, so this is the one side. If I equal to row minus 1, so row value is 3 actually, but index is starting from 0 to 2, so we will use this row minus 1. So if I is equal to this row minus 1, so that means this row will be traversed. And if j is equal to cols minus 1, so that means this call equal to 3, 3 minus 1, 2, so that means this index will be read. So during the traversing, we will just mention these conditions: either row I equal to 0, or I equal to row minus 1, or j equal to 0, or j equal to col minus 1. Then we will read that element, otherwise we will skip. Okay. So we will apply this condition with or. So because any condition is true, then we will consider that element. Okay. So in this way, we will just make this condition. So in the second iteration, so for same loop we will use I equal to 0 and I is less than equal to rows and I plus plus for int j equal to 0, j is less than calls and j plus plus. Okay. So this loop we have run for the similar to NF. Now at the time of selection of element, so that's what element we will add. So that will be only inside this condition. So if, so we are now writing the condition if I is equal to 0. So this is the first condition. Okay, and then we will use the or sign. Okay? Then if I is equal to rows minus 1. Okay, this is the second or condition. Or okay, and then j is equal to 0, again or, and j is equal to cos minus 1. Cos minus 1. So any of the one condition is true inside this four condition, so that will be the border element actually. So that sum equal to plus equal to, and we will add that element I and j. Okay, so that will ensure that all border element only we come will into the sum. Reverse question, like just skip the all border element and add only the middle element. Okay, so just make this condition with the not, so not equal to, not equal to, not equal to, not equal to, like this. Okay, so only the middle element will be come then.
Okay.
So in this way, you can identify the border element and you can traverse only border element part. So that will come into the sum and finally print the sum. So that is percentage and sum. So that is the task. So I hope syntax is okay. Let's run. If any syntax, yeah, syntax issue is there. Okay, so we at the time of reading use the end. Okay, so here we miss column. Where we miss line number 18. Here. Oh, state one or more error. So J equal. Okay, double equal. Okay, all error now resolved. Let's stop and test it. Okay, so now our output is as required output 40 for this and 36 for this. Okay, so this is the third problem solution.
Sir,
So,
J is equal to columns minus 1 means
so what is this? What you are asking?
J is equal to colon minus 1.
So that is written now. So what your query in this?
Yes, sir. So, uh, how
Are
this?
you asking? Are you asking why we are taking this?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So as I mentioned here now, so we have the indexing actually. So what is the row for this example? Rows value equal to 3, calls value equal to 3. So that is representing total number of rows, total number of columns. But in our that array, the indexing is started from 0. Okay, and for 3 column, indexing will start from 0, 1, 2. So for last actually column, we have to take, we can take like rows value minus 1. So that will represent a last index for this. Okay, same for that other side. So calls, this is total number of columns, but index for last column will be that 3 minus 1, 2. This one.
Okay, because it starts from zero index.
Yes, so index will start from 0. So that last index will be the less than one less than the total number of count.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
because of that we are doing. Okay. So yeah, so this is fine. Okay, any query? Anyone? Okay, so no query. Let's move to the next big 10 questions. So it is not saved. First save this. Not saved. Submit this. Okay. Okay. So
Uh, can you
yes.
put the solutions in the chat box?
Oh, that solution.
Uh, that is problem 2.
Uh, Problem 3. You are asking for this?
Sir, problem 3.
Okay, okay. Actually, I cannot copy, I think, from this. Okay, so copy paste feature is disabled, so I cannot copy this. So you can take a screenshot, I think.
Okay, sir, no mention.
Okay. Okay, so let's move. Otherwise, the logic is clear, so you can write by your own. Week 10. Okay, so order is just different. So now let's move. Week 10, problem 1. So this is now a file-based question. So in OPP exam also, one problem will be based on the file. Okay, so you should very well that how to read the file and how to write the into the file. So some basic operations are required to read and first thing open and close the file. That is also important. How to open the file into read mode, how to open the file into the write mode. Okay, so write mode will create a file if file is not exist. So in this column, some input files are also configured. Okay, so with the main course, you can see this input file is configured, input 2 file is configured. So you need to write the code into the main file. So what is the problem? So read integer from file and print their sum.
Actually, sir, week 10 is not released, published.
No, it is released, but it is coming at the top in the sequence. Okay, just show the at the top.
Okay, sir, I got it.
Okay, so here it is coming. Actually, these columns are sorted based on the string actually. So one all are coming at the first. So at the top, all three problems are there. Okay, so this here write a program that reads the input and output file name. Okay, so we will read the input and output file name and read a list of integers from the input file, computes the sum of the integers, and write the result to the output file. Okay, so how we can read the input file? So that first thing is our input is like an input file name, not the data of the input file. Okay, so that file name we need to read. After that, we will open this file into a read mode and we will read the data, and we will sum all the value of that data and will write that data into a output file, output1.txt. So for output matching, you can only also print that data. Otherwise, but we have also added this output1.txt, that function. So you also should know how to write the output into the file. So okay, so let's start this reading writing things. So has include h. Okay. So here, first thing is we want to read the input actually. Okay, so input file name. So that file name we required as input and also the output file name. So that is not as it is as a string. So we have to read this as a string. So like we can create a pointer for this. So like suppose we have the input file name as a string. So we will take like, so char. We can take char pointer as string uh, input. Okay, so I'm just giving input file like this input file. This pointer. This is a character pointer. Okay, and same we have a pointer for output file. And after that, because this is we have to open the file, so we have to create a pointer for the file also. So that is file asterisk and like in. Okay, so I'm giving the input name and in and asterisk out. Okay, so this is just a file pointer because we have to open the file, and that file pointer will be this. So this is done, and one more variable we required for the sum, int like sum equal to 0. So that variables are there. Now we will read the input. So scanf and percentile s, and we will pass this pointer. So this is a pointer itself. So we will pass this like input file. Okay, and the output file. So this is second line scanf percentile s and comma output file. Okay, so now this strings we have read file name. Now we will open this file. Okay, and so how we will open? So in equal to you know that f open we write.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so f open, and because this is a variable, so we are taking the variable. Let's, so we will not write this as a inside the double quote. So we will just write like a input file and asterisk. Okay, let's see this, it will work or not. And we are opening this as a R mode, reading mode. This is for a reading input, and same we will, one file we will open for output. So f open. Okay, so that asterisk this output file, and this is into write mode because we have to write the output into this file. So this is our input and output file open, and always if you are opening any file, so always close that also. Okay, so at the end, so if we are writing this directly here, close that in file and f close that out file. So this is required actually, otherwise the code may give the error in the reading writing. So that both file are, we have closed. In between, what is our tasks? So we will just read the elements one by one and store that value into a like number. Okay, at one variable we can take. So like suppose we will read the element and we will store into a number. So that we can like int and 2m. So now we will, because we don't know how many lines are there, so we will run a while loop here. So while, and for reading the line, each line, so we can use this fscanf. And this loop we will run. So what is the requirement for this loop is input file pointer in and what type of value we are reading. So we can use if we have on is any specific element so that we can directly read into the variable. So we have only one element in the file each line. So and that we want to read as a integer. So that percentile d and that we will store into which variable num. Okay.
Sir, hello.
Huh.
Sir, we can also scan the integer using fgetw.
But that you can also do. Okay, so there are multiple way. So but we have a while loop till the end of the line, so that we have not equal to, and this is end of file, so eof, that is one while loop. So this while loop will run until we will reach at the end of file. Okay, and
Okay.
inside this, that line value will be stored into this num variable, and that we will store into our sum. So sum plus equal to num. Okay, and now that we can print, we can check that our code is working or not. So printf, like I'm just simply printing in the outputs percentile d as a sum. Okay, so that we are printing what sum we are getting. And after that we have closed the file also. So let's see, and return statement I have not written for this. Okay, so let's return also 0. Okay, so let's see, because input one.txt file is also there. Okay, so for first input we have to pass this file name. Okay, some error is there. Oh, comma, sorry. Okay, that is actually, I think we have to use this directly like this. And sum scanf, oh, we missed the comma. So let's pass the file input one.txt. Okay, why this is like not reading correctly. This is just input file, output file is mistake.
Sir, I think put input file in a double inverted comma.
No, so this actually reading part, second input is not asked for reading. So we give the input here, this line, and second line is not actually executed. So this is for, we are not reaching at actually this point. So if you see, let me print f simply hello. So we are not reaching at that point. Import one.txt. So you can see we are directly exiting. So why this is happening? percentage input file. Suppose let's if we make this as a array 20 character 20 character can be assigned like this. Still it will not work I think. And dot txt import txt. Okay, hello 10. Hello and 10 output is also printed. Okay. Okay, yeah, now working is sorry. ठीक है. Okay, so you can see we are making this array, character array, and now we are reading the input, and that will store into the input file, and that we are opening as a input here. So that hello message I'm just removing now. Okay, so now file name is in all stored as a string in the input file. This variable, or this is an array actually character array. So that file name is now stored here, and output file name is stored in this. Now we are opening that file into a read mode. So we will not be, if we want to open directly file, suppose file name is given input one.txt, that we will written under the double quote. But this is a variable actually. Okay, this is an array name, and that value will be passed as a file name. So that value is actually a string. So that is input one.txt. So we are reading that, we are just reading each line one by one, and we are adding that each element of that line into a sum. And finally, we are printing into the sum, so that file. But what our task is also that write the output into an output file. So our test case will pass because this is the configured things. So let's see.
Sir, array size should be 100, I think.
Array size should be 100.
Oh, yes.
Anywhere it is mentioned. Oh, 100. Assume that input file will not contain more than 100
100.
integer. No, so this is not a actually, we are not storing that number into this is just a file name location. This array, this is actually a only containing the file name input one.txt
Oh,
only.
yes.
That file is there already. You can see this file is there already here that contain 1, 2, 3, 4, that contain the data.
Ah, yes.
Okay, another is input 2.txt. So oh, how the output is read for this, let's see. 10, I'm not sure, 10 30 20. I am not sure what was the output actually. Okay, okay, so that's so now this is working because that input file. Okay, yeah, fast. So that input 2.text was 1, 10, 20, 30. So that output is coming 60. So this was the input test case one input file name, and this was the input output file name. But yeah, output file we have not created, but still it is passed because that code is not configured in that way. So what we will do, we will also perform the write operation. So how we can write this output into a output file? So that output file name. So you because we have opened that file output file as a out pointer, so we can use the file print option. So that
Ah, F
f
print.
print f, and we will pass the output pointer, so that is out. What value we are printing? We are printing similarly percentile
Percentile D.
d and that variable name. Where is the value? Sum. So that single value we can print like this. So this will create a new file now. So suppose if we run this and we pass the name input one.txt, okay, and input, sorry, output one.txt. Okay, so that you can see, but this file is also added in your tab, so that contain your result tab. Okay, so output is also printing and file is also created. So in the opp exam configuration, what will happen, you will get a this file, input file name and output file name, but your task will only be just read the input and perform your task and write the output into a output file. You no need to print or return anything. Okay, the some code will be hidden or will be given in the suffix code. That code will read your output file and will print the output. Okay, so that means you are not allowed to print anything. Your task is just read the input data, perform task and write into a output file. That suffix or hidden code will read that output file and will print the data. So in this way a problem will be configured. Okay, so you should know how to read the data and how to write into a output file. So generally that file name will be given in this way. Okay, so do not so last time we found that the student have put this double quote with this also. This is not a file name. Okay, this is a variable that contain the file name, so just pass as a variable. Okay, so this is important for the opp purpose. So this is one problem.
Sir, if I closed in double inverted comma of input file, then what will happen?
So actually that file, this there is no file with this name. This will be treated as string now. Okay, so this code will try to check this actually input file. Is there any file with this name, input file? Now this is a name of the file, but there is
Okay.
no file actually with this name. This become a string, and this is now a variable that contain the name of this input1.txt. So this will be passed as a string for this function open
Okay.
input1.txt. Okay, so because of that it will change, use as a variable.
Okay, if I put any argument, pass any argument, then it takes input from the users. Otherwise, if
Hmm.
put them into a double inverted comma, it will check the
That will become a string. Yeah, that
yes,
will
it
read
checks
as a
the
string.
files name.
Hmm. Okay, because our here input actually is input file name, so that we have to pass to the this open function, okay, as a variable. So that will be treated as a string.
Hmm. Okay.
So this is problem one, and let's check the another problem. Oh, let's first submit this. Okay, back to problem two problem. Okay, count number of words in a file. So same problem is type is given. So sample input is this input1.txt, output1.txt. The content is given in the input1.txt like this, and your task is just to print this number of word. Okay, and words are separated by space, new line, or tabs. These three. So you can separate in this way.
Uh, I think, sir, in this problem, I will be firstly read all the characters, uh, and then we increase using the count plus plus after word plus plus, and finally
Huh.
print them.
Yeah, so
That's
this what will be done, you will just read the all lines and check how many that
correct.
space are there, or this new line characters are there, or tabs are there. Okay, so in that way you can also find your counting.
Yes, sir. But we will do a while loop.
Same things you have to read like as a character, each character you have to read. So this time you can use f get c.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir, FGetC can directly read all the pages of the files.
all characters, yeah. No,
Uh,
no, no.
and
You have to run. You have to run inside the while loop.
Okay, I think
Okay,
how read
that
entire page templates.
so that you have to run this inside a while loop. Like you have to take some character variable and you have to read the character by f get c or from the input file, and you have to run this loop until your while loop will not reach at the end of file uf, like that same as the previous things.
Okay, sir. End of file is a previous defined function in C. That is
This is eof is this eof is the predefined thing in the file. So when your actually cursor moves at the end pointer of the file, that return this UF value.
okay, sir.
Okay, so that you can use the as a identification of end of the file. So let's okay, write the code for this. Okay, so has include stdioh. Okay, same things will we will do again. So we have the input and output file name. So care input input file, and this is an array like 20. Okay, output file in the 20. Okay, so these are two array, and we can take one care so like ch. We will read character one by one, so all variables are declared now. File pointer, so that same file asterisk in comma asterisk out. Okay, two variable. And other than this, okay, so let's open the file first, read the file first. So scanf same percentile s, pass that input file, scanf percentile s as output file. Okay, now open this file in equal to f open and the variable name, so input file comma read mode. Out equal to f open and that output file name into write mode. Okay, now close also, so f close in f close and out. Okay, so file are closed. Now we will just check the count total. So for count we will run a loop. So while ch equal to f get c, f get c, and from which file in. Okay, if this value is not equal to this, where one second. Not equal to eof. Okay, in this nd. So now we will match our character total number of this space things. So how many tabs are there? How many new line characters are there? So if okay, so character by character we are matching. So if ch is equal to like space or ch is equal to slash n.
Yes, and we can also use the space.
Ch equal to for tab slash t, correct?
Hmm.
So then we will increment our count actually. Okay, so we'll take some variable for integer equal to 0. Okay, count plus plus. Okay, so what it will define actually for this input. So first is space 1, then new line character 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so space and tab will become as a one less than to the number of word. So you have to increment one more plus and then print this. Let's see we are getting correct or not. Percentile d and count. So we will pass this file name. So let's run this first. Oh, we are getting error. Uh, Comparison between pointer and integer. Oh, we declare pointer. It's a simple character. Character useless pointer. Space. Space null and tab or anything. Warning. Oh, this is warning actually. See, still not running. So let's see. 1 second. Yeah. This should be stop. This complete value should be inside bracket. ch. Let's first check this what we are getting. Finding comparison.
Sir, use a space instead of double inverted comma.
What?
Uh,
Ch?
use a space ch.
Okay, so that is the function of stdio.h or other any library.
I think no, sir. Other library that is C type.
Okay. Can't we use strcmp? Let me check first that comparison include. But character this was a simple single character. Okay, let string.h. Can't we do like this? If let inside bracket strcmp ch comma space. So strcmp returns 0 if file are matched, correct? Let me check this. I also forgot. Oh, strcmp, what is the comparison? So it returns 0 if strings are matched. So suppose if we check like this, equal to
Uh,
0.
Sir, actually, I have an emergency work, so uh, I will come within 5 minutes. Okay.
Ha ha, okay, okay, no problem. Yeah, this. So this is, oh, variation here, sorry. strcmp, first character, ch. Okay, I think then we have to use C type. But I remember that single character where it is not matching. Then we will check this later. But then simply we can use C type as input. So let's open one document. So in week 7, 1 second, we have this compare the character length by cat CMP. Okay, so this is a string 0. Okay, so let's try this. This array also is an array. Let's check. Oh, we have to use this bracket. 1 second, space. Yeah, so actually for single character we should use this single. Okay, so single quote. Use this. Okay, let's write the all condition or ch equal to single quote slash n or ch equal to this slash tab t. Okay, then print count of file. What's happened? Go server lost. Import one.txt output.txt. Okay, man. Yeah, one.txt created. So we are getting the correct output 9. Okay, so let's this is the main function. But we have not created the file. How file? Okay, so file is created from here. Okay, so let's test this. It's working fine. So the problem was only this like single quote. If we are representing any single character, so we have to use the single quote only, not double quote. So we are just comparing the character as mentioned is because words are separated by space, new line, and tabs. So we are comparing each. So space is this, and new line character and tab. Our character current character is matched with this. We will increment our counter, but this value will become one less for the number of words. So that we will increment one more time. So our count will be representing the total number of words. Okay, so yeah, this was the solution. Out you can so output file is created, but there's no output data in this. So same way you can store the output in your file. So let's check the code. So after like print this or before this, like fprint and then out file. This time we have so total number of count again same thing. So percentile s sorry d and what value we are printing say count. Okay, so now the let's run test this. So suppose run this st output one.txt and now this 9 and this is also available in the output file. Okay, yeah, so this was the solution for the second problem. So we can count the characters. Sometimes the same type of question may ask for like how many characters are there. Okay, so in this way you can character the count, find the count. Same that how many vowels are there in the text, how many like this type of multiple type of questions may be generated where you can use this logic. Okay, so let's save this and submit this and move to the third last question. Third. And this is simple like copy content from one file to the another file. So just read the character, write the character. So inside the same loop you can do the write operation. So read the character one by one and write into the output file. So like we will write the same code. So has include stdio.h return 0 and now do the same thing. So like char array input file 20 output file 20. Okay, and like file pointer so that hashtag in comma hashtag out. So that is file pointer. Now Here this time we just read the input and write into the output like care ch. Same things we will do. To read the input, so scanf that same percentile s and input file scanf that percentile s output file. Okay, and equal to f open, and this is not this input file in read mode out equal to f open output file into write mode w. Okay, so one bracket missed. So this input output is done. Now we will run a loop. So while same thing, like the condition ch equal to f get c from in file until our value does not equal to e1. Okay, and this time we will just write this into a output file directly from here. So same f c, so f put c, the what is the character and what is the output file. So that is out. Okay, so this is the loop only to copy the one file to the another file. Okay, so all character read by one and print it right into a output file. So we will see we are getting the output into the file because we are performing output option here. Sorry. So let's run this. No error. Okay, input 1.txt and output 1.txt. So you can see new file is created that output 1.txt, and the same content is written in this. This is test file, it contain multiple line, and same is now in the output file as it is. Okay.
Uh, Sir, actually, a printf also used to write the content inside the file, and a putc also used. So,
So you can use multiple ways. So if I remember that there are multiple read and write type of option for the file content. So if you see this, in the notes I have mentioned this. So this f scanf, there are three tab. So when we should use f scanf, f get c, f get s. Same print, f print f put c, f put s.
sir, instead of a putc, we can use a printf also.
So f print have some limitations. So your variable actually generally your variable should contain the full strings then. Okay, so suppose if you are reading file and that file contain like 10 line. So all data should be come into a one string variable. Then you can pass that like this. F
Oh,
F.
and a
Okay,
putc
suppose
can put a
F put
character by
C
character.
F put C character by character, right?
Okay, sir.
Or f print f, you can what you can do, you can just write this also inside the while loop and read each line one by one and print into the output line by line. Okay, so like this f at c is used to write a string into a file. So you can read one line at a time complete and then write into a single line, then move to the next line like this. So multiple way you can write.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like you can see fget s, it is used to read a line of the text from file. So this you can use, just read the complete one line, and same f put s, you can write a complete line in that way. But print have as this scanf have some limitation, so that if you read a one string, so that will read only till the first space, that part only. or we also use that as a like a read as a formatted string. We suppose we know how many values are there after separated by space, so we can directly assign this. Character is also, so f get c and f get s are more useful for this. Okay, you can use this. Okay, so this is a giving as a expected output. Test case I think will not pass because we are not printing this. Okay, so that is matching. Output is not coming. So if you will print this, then your output will match. For the most
Uh,
of the OPP exam, your task will be just read the input and write the output into output file. Only that. The other our suffix hidden code will do the print ops. Okay. So in this way, just practice on this reading and writing carefully on the file, and that one question will definitely come from this file question. One question will become from structure based, okay, and one string based, or first part will be based on the previous conditional or loop and basic questions. So practice
uh,
on that part.
yes.
Okay, so like today all problems are done. So you can practice this week all live sessions. So this week all live session will be focused on only revision session of the OPP exam. So our TA was actually not well in the previous week, so he could not actually take the session previous week, but now he's okay. So you that session will also be done. Okay, so join that session also for revision this week. Okay, and try to get full marks in the OPP exam. Okay, any query, anyone?
Sir, can you please explain about the which header files, that is library function, are used for which type of things, such as hashtag studio.h works for the printf.
So actually, most of the time I also not use too much that libraries, but some common library you can focus like that string.h. So that many functions are useful for the string questions. Okay, so let's. I have also mentioned some important library. So that string function you can, this is file here in this string. So to use this function strcpy, strlen, you have to add the string.h, that library. So that library is important. Some read this common function which we can directly use. Otherwise, math library you can see sometimes math type of questions is there like power and square or log like this.
Yes, sir.
So math library. But apart from that, too much libraries are there. I also not use too much. Okay, so most
And
of the
what
tasks.
about the C type library?
I actually I have also not checked that library. What are the function available? If you have used and if you know, then you can use. Actually, there is no restriction on the library. You can use on the portal.
Mm,
Okay,
okay,
because
sir.
that C type I have also not explored. What are the functions are there? But this str string.h, math.h, these are very common things. So that is we generally suggest. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. Okay, then any no query, then we can close the session. Okay, thanks everyone.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah, bye everyone.